this is a little instrumental called Fisher Swing. Thanks very much. Well, I mentioned that Pennsylvania was my adopted home state. I was born in Wilmington, Delaware in 1959. And it was kind of a fun time to grow up, an interesting time to grow up. The powers that be would do all sorts of interesting things. One thing that I remember particularly as a kid growing up, this is one of those childhood memories that just kind of sticks, you know. I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. My brother hadn't been born yet. But the government decided it'd be a great idea to spray for mosquitoes. Now looking back on that, I think, you know, at that time in Delaware, 1959, to my best recollection, malaria had already been wiped out.
Especially in Delaware.
Yeah. So anyway, the summers down there are hot and dry and humid and buggy. But anyway, for some reason or other, they decided to spray for mosquitoes. And back then, they were using a chemical called DDT. And so there was an Air National Guard base not too far from where we lived. And they would load up the B-52s with the DDT, and then they would the local radio stations would announce when they were coming to spray the neighborhoods. So we were just little kids. We were out there playing, and they would spray it at twilight, which is in summertime in Delaware. It's like the only time where it's kind of like nice outside. So we'd be outside wanting to play, and they'd make this announcement over the radio that they were going to be spraying it over such and such a neighborhood at such and such a time. And so I remember our moms just running out and grabbing us and dragging us back in the house and going, Mom, what did I do? What did I do? Like a scene from, you know, A Christmas Story or something like that. So anyway, after a short period of time, you hear, and you look out the window and you can see the B-52s flying way low, doing the DDT strafing run over the neighborhood. And so it was, we had to wait a while and everything, and finally they made the announcement over the radio that it was safe to go back outside. And have you guys ever used a spray called Raid? Yeah. I remember walking outside, and the whole entire neighborhood smelled like Raid. Growing up in Delaware, I never saw a great blue heron either until I was probably 22 or 23 years old. I was fishing down along the Delaware, and I heard this god-awful squawking noise, and I looked up and I thought that it was a pterodactyl. I had gone back in time. But the reason that we never saw any of those growing up is because the DDT made all the shells of water birds really thin and cracked, and so eagles went away, egrets went away, herons went away, cormorants went away, all the fishing birds. And so I'm happy to say they're back. But anyway, that has nothing to do with this song. This song took place in my backyard, or is based in my old backyard in Wilmington, Delaware. We had woods behind the house, and we didn't have a lot of organized sports or things like that. The sports that we organized, we kind of like organized ourselves as kids. And there was a big woods out behind the house, so we would spend most of the summer collecting ticks. But we did have two big sycamore trees in the backyard, and my dad put up a tree swing for us. He was a country kid, and he didn't think much of the store-bought metal swing sets. So we had a tree swing, and that's what the song is about. And this is dedicated to my dad. It's called Tree Swing. Mom and Dad built a house in 1961, a modest family home that faced west into the sun. In the backyard, two big sycamores that the builders spared. And Dad put up a tree swing that my sister and I shared. Swinging back and forth, a spirit on the wind. I'm swinging back and forth, back and forth again. I'm swinging back and forth, the spirit on the wind. I'm swinging back and forth, back and forth again. Just an old comfort clothesline that Dad tied way up there on a branch at a red house. And my swing now shares swing west into the sunset, east into the woods. The swing in a tree, the sailor by, has got me feeling good. I'm swinging back and forth, the spirit on the wind. I'm swinging back and forth again. I'm swinging back and forth, the spirit on the wind. I'm swinging back and forth, back and forth. An old scrap of lumber from a junk pile up the street, but in the mind of a little boy, hey, it's the pilot seat of a big old silver liner flying through the sky. The cradle of the wren house in the branches way up high. I'm swinging back and forth, spirit on the wind. I'm swinging back and forth again. I'm swinging back and forth, the spirit on the wind. I'm swinging back and forth again. There beneath that tree swing was a big old patch of dirt, and that red clay dust ground into my pants and shirt. Long hot summer days beneath that shady tree, the swing up in the sycamore that Dad put there for me. I'm swinging back and forth, the spirit on the wind. I'm swinging back and back and forth again. I'm swinging back and forth. The spirit on the wind. I'm swinging back and forth, back and forth again. In '68 we moved to a house that had no trees, playground swings of metal. They can't touch one of these. They don't have the rent house or the care of a loving dad, or that dear old dusty dirt patch that my dear old tree swing had. I'm swinging back and forth, the spirit on the wind. I'm swinging back and forth, and back and forth again. I'm swinging back and forth, the spirit on the wind. I'm swinging back and forth, back and forth again.
Nice.
Thank you. You're very kind. This is another one of my Delaware series. I have all these like series of songs. This is part of the Delaware series here before we move into the Pennsylvania series. By this time, we had actually moved up to Pennsylvania, and I had started my family. But my cousins and aunt and uncle still lived down in Sussex County, Delaware. Do you ever guys get down to any of the Delaware beaches at all? Rehoboth and Dewey and Bethany. We had decided that year to take we thought that the kids were old enough to go on a beach vacation. So we went down to Dewey, and there was a lot of sand and screaming, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, as part of the vacation, we decided to go visit my cousin Mark down in Millsboro, Delaware, which is kind of on the interior of Sussex County. And there's a river there, the Nanticoke River, that flows through there. And so he managed to hitch up his bass tracker while we were in the house visiting, and he just kind of did one of these, hey. And so, risking my marriage, I went ahead with him, and we took a 1 hour break from vacation to go take a powerboat ride on the Nanticoke. And it was a beautiful day. It was a high tide. It was just absolutely wonderful. We went pretty much from Millsboro almost all the way to the Maryland line. And that was the inspiration for this song, which is about a powerboat ride, and it's called Just Enjoy the Ride. Slip this boat into the water, and I'll show you how it feels to go 1,000,000 miles an hour without roads and without wheels. The sun is in a blue sky, and we've got a real high tide. I'll open up the throttle, 'cause I'm just enjoying the ride. We are men of different worlds, yeah, that's plain enough to see. We are kindred spirit, and we are family. Slip this boat into the water, and we'll steal an hour now, because Monday morning we'll be hitched back to the plow. This boat into the water, and I'll show you how it feels to go 1,000,000 miles an hour without roads and without wheels. Sun is in the blue sky, and we've got a real high tide. I'll open up the throttle, 'cause I'm just enjoying the ride. Kids are with their mothers, so it's just you and I. And then our age don't get a chance like this, but by and by, forget about the battles lost. Paving's over too for an hour. It's a power glide beneath the sky. miles an hour without roads and without wheels. Sun is in a blue sky and we've got a real high tide. I'll open up the throttle 'cause I'm just enjoying the ride. Thank you. Now, unfortunately, my cousin Mark passed on at a very young age, and whenever I play that song, I always follow it up with this traditional tune in his honor. This is from the Celtic tradition, and it's called "The Last Rose of Summer." Rose of summer, that blooming alone, all her lovely companions faded and gone. No flower of her kindred, no rosebud is nigh to reflect back her blushes, or to give sigh for sight. I'll not leave thee, thou lone one, to pine on the stem, since the lovely are sleeping. Sleep thou with them. Thus kindly I scatter thy leaves o'er the bed, where thy mates of the garden lie scentless and dead. So soon may I follow when friendships decay, when from love's shining circle the gems drop away, when true hearts lie withered and fond ones have flown. Oh, tell me who would this bleak world alone. Thanks very much. So, but those songs I just did there are in an open G tuning. So I don't know if are you folks guitar players in here?
I recognize it.
Okay, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, this is learning a G tuning was a game changer for me as far as being a guitar player goes. It was, you know, as a kid growing up, I listened to the Doobie Brothers and all these other bands, and they'd be playing these songs, and I did these guitar. I tried to emulate the chords that they were playing, and you needed like 9 fingers to play it. And then finally, when I was down at Pitt Johnstown, this guy that I was playing gigs with, he said, dude, that's a G tuning, man. I said, what?
And so then he showed me how to do that, and it was like, wow. Well, somebody finally told me how to do that.
So anyway, a lot of Irish songs that you hear, a lot of Appalachian songs will be in a and a lot of Hawaiian music actually too is written in what they call slack key or open key tunes, and a lot of blues as well. So when we get out of that here and get into my next set here. Deb and I kind of lived all over Pennsylvania, and I'm going to do a song that I wrote for her actually back in May of 1981. We were living in a little town in Somerset County called Jerome. It's a little coal town. Of course, the mine had long since crapped out, but it was still. We were just about to get married, and both gotten jobs out in that area. And so I wrote this for her. It was one of those. This is one of my Youth Wasted on the Young series. But anyway,
Amen to that.
I wrote this song, and then I played it, and then I kind of I look back on our relationship. We've been married for 32 years now, and a couple of years ago I broke the song back out, and was looking at some old pictures of us back in the day, and I was going like, wow. I had no idea how good looking we both were back then. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you tend to pick things that, my God, what happened? You kind of tend to, when you're that age, when I was in my 20s, I tend to, you tend to look down on yourself or maybe have a little bit of low self-image or something. And then as time went by, I looked back at this picture and go, wow, who's that handsome couple? Like, oh my God, it was us. No way. But anyway, Jerome, we only lived there for a short period of time, and there was, when we lived there was a prolonged coal strike at the time, and so it had a real hard impact on everybody that lived in that area. And one thing that was really cool though was that the fire company, even though times were tough, the fire company still came around. This would have been maybe near the end of June. They came around, they went door to door and collected money for fireworks for the 4th of July. And so we scraped up $5 or $10, and then the house that we rented out in Jerome was one of those stamped tar shingle jobs, So it's supposed to look like bricks, but it's tar shingles that are stamped. They've got millions of them out here. And so that's where we spent our first year married. And there would be beautiful sunsets. There was a big blue spruce tree that was growing in the backyard there. And that 4th of July, they shot off the fireworks that the whole town had purchased. And I think that the whole display probably went about 15 minutes. but anyway, it was still a wonderful time. We got a little garden out back, and I had gone out and found some interesting looking plants to plant out there, and one of the plants that I planted out in the backyard there in Jerome were African daisies, and that kind of gave me the idea for this song, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. This is called African Daisy.
Sun is bright.
African daisies out blooming in the backyard. Dandelions smile, sitting in the shade of the blue spruce. Come to visit you, well, I don't want no drink of water. I don't want no alibi. What I want now you can give me. Only you can fill it up. Let me drink from your love. Robin goes flipping through the backyard. Old black cricket out singing to the stars. Full moon rising, bringing on the evening, lighting up the town. Bring your love up to me early in the evening when the sun is down. Well, I don't want no drink of water. I don't want no alibi. What I want now you can give me. Only you can fill it up. Let me drink from your love, yeah.
Upstairs, both of you?
The sun in the evening is a bright pink balloon setting over that rise, giving color and meaning, orange and amber and lavender sky. African daisies out blooming in the backyard. Dandelions smile, sitting in the shade of blue spruce. Come to visit a while. Well, I don't want no drink of water. I don't want no alibi. What I want now you can give me. Only you can fill it up. Let me drink from your loving cup. But I know it now. Didn't know what I had back then. But I know it now. Didn't know what I had back then. But I know it now. Didn't know what I had back then. But darling, I know it now. Yeah, I don't want no drink of water. I don't want no alibi. What I want now you can give me. Only you can fill it up. Let me drink from your loving, yeah. Let me drink from your loving cup. 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 Here's another Pennsylvania song for you. This would have been, we moved out to, we moved to Easton, and then we moved, which is all the way
Right there.
to the east, yeah, right on the banks of the Delaware River, and then we moved back out to where we're at now. We lived in a little town on the eastern end of Lebanon County, a little town called Richland Borough, and we had just moved there, and this is one of those songs that just kind of writes, kind of wrote itself. I don't know if any folks or songwriters at all, or you attempt that at all, but every now and then a lyric idea will just pop in your head, and then all of a sudden the melody just kind of follows. So I think that's the kind of stuff that just comes from out there. It's floating around out there, and you're just ready to receive it at the right time. So I think that's what this song is all about. Anyway, it was a beautiful early summer evening, and there was a full moon rising just above the trees behind my neighbor's yard, and that gave me the first line for this, and the rest of the song just wrote itself. This is called Pennsylvania Home. There's a full moon rising just above the trees, casting silver shadows across the house and lawn. There's a mockingbird singing, his song is on the breeze. It's been too many days that I've been gone. Oh, my Pennsylvania home, cool me in your mountain streams, your forest tall and laurel breeze, shelter me in your mansions wide. I'll take care of all my share, I'll love you like a child. A freight rolls through the valley, you can hear him from afar, rumbling like a distant storm, tumbling through the night. His headlamp from a distance is a brilliant shooting star, rolling on to dawn's first glory light. Oh, my Pennsylvania home, cool me in your mountain streams, your forest tall and laurel breeze, shelter me in your mansions wide. I'll take care of all the share, love you like a child. There's my darling on the front porch, I rush to her embrace. The days apart are over now, I've only for a while. How I miss those loving arms and that pretty face, beaming with that old familiar smile. There's a full moon rising just above the trees, casting silver shadows across the house and lawn. There's a mockingbird singing, his song is on the breeze. It's been too many days that I've been gone. Oh, my Pennsylvania home, cool me in your mountain streams, your forest tall and laurel breeze, shelter me in your mansions wide. I'll take care of all you share, love you like a child. Fireflies dance beneath your summer skies, shelter me in your mansions wide. I'll take care of all the share, I'll take care of all the share, I love you like a child. I'll do a song for you folks I wrote for my son when he was 19. He's 26 now. But he was just one of those kids. He's my rambunctious boy. And a real free spirit ever since he was born. Kind of knew right off the bat that we were in trouble, you know? And we've always had a good relationship, an interesting relationship. It wasn't a love-hate relationship. There's no hate involved. It's more like a love, are you freaking kidding me kind of relationship. And kind of swings both ways on that in terms of what he thinks of me and what I do and what he does and all that. But anyway, things are patched up now and he's doing quite well. But back at that time, he just barely finished high school. I mean, we dragged him across the finish line, kicking and screaming. But he made it, and on his 19th birthday, he decided to move to New York City. And so there was no holding this kid back, and I was not about to attempt it. You choose your battles with these kinds of people, and that was one battle that I was just not gonna fight. But anyway, it gave me a lot to think about at night. My son out there in New York on his own, and that was the inspiration for this song here. So I hope that you can relate to it. It doesn't, just because it's about my son, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's not someone in your life that these lyrics couldn't relate to on that level, on a different level. Maybe just somebody that's in your life that's kind of drifted out of your life for the time being, and you think about them a lot. Let me make sure I'm in tune here. This is called You're Always on My Mind. Thoughts aren't always kind, I can't escape you. Still may angels guide your way, every night and every day, and make danger stay away from you, wherever you may roam. Down your street, may good fortune guide your feet, and may good friends be there by your side to catch you when you stumble. You are always on my mind. 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 Though my thoughts aren't always kind, I can't escape you. Still may angels guide your way, every night and every day, and may danger stay away from you, wherever you may roam. Down your stone cold canyon street, may good fortune guide for one of the big companies out in the Poconos saw me out there one day, and he said, "Would you want to come and guide for us?" And so I thought about it for about 15 seconds and said, "Yeah, sure." So that started that ball rolling, and the first there are things in rivers called strainers. There are like trees that fall into the rivers and stuff like that. And as a kayaker, you don't want to go into those things because water goes through, but solid objects don't. And well, when you are guiding with a big with a big group of rafts, you're in your kayak in amongst 20 or 30 floating strainers, which is what we refer to as rafts. So anyway, on the Lehigh is kind of a peculiar situation. Like if you go down into the Carolinas or Tennessee, or if you go up into New England, there's always a guide in every raft. That's how they have it set up there. But on the Lehigh, you'll have a trip of maybe between 17 to 20 rafts with 4 guides. You'll have the guides will be in kayaks. There'll be a point guide at the front, a sweep guide at the back to clean up all the wreckage, and then 2 roaming guides in the center. And those are the folks that are, parking behind rocks and obstacles and making the old river signs like, go that way. Go that way really fast. Forget about going that way. But anyway, so that was all part of that culture. And so I've been doing that for years now. And now I'm actually a guide trainer, which is very interesting. But at any rate, I remember my first year of guiding, the people that you work with, it's like being on a sports team. You really rely on each other. You really have to count on each other, and the bonds that you build with your river family become really, really strong. And at the end of that season, I think we did our last run probably first week of October, and then it was time to pack up the boats. We did the Tohican the first weekend in November, and then it was into the winter time. You have that whole thing with daylight savings time, which is thoroughly depressing to begin with. And then you have the onset of winter. And then usually every year, right around the first or second week of January, I start having river dreams. The river saying, "Come back, come back." So anyway, this is the first winter after guiding, and it was particularly depressing. And so I wrote this song for all of my fellow guides that I work with, and I work on the Lehigh River, which runs from it's a place near Whitehaven, which is near Hazleton, Scranton area out there, and it runs from there all the way down and through the towns of Jim Thorpe in the Poconos, and then into Bethlehem and Allentown, and to Easton, where it deposits into the Delaware River. And the section that we run is called Lehigh Gorge, and that's way up in the mountains, up north of the Jim Thorpe area. So this is called "Will I See You on the Lehigh." Saturday, it's early, and I'm up before the sun. Kayak on the roof rack, tearing up by 81. I wonder why I do this, for the journey is so long. But that river keeps on calling, singing her sweet song. Come to me, come to me, come to me, oh, she sings, come to me. I wonder why I do this, for the journey is so long. But that river keeps on calling, singing her sweet song. There's a feeling that comes over when I hear the sound of the water in the rapid as it rushes all around. I still get the butterflies when I see her dancing past, when the boats all leave her shoreline and we're back with her at last. Come to me, come to me, come to me, oh, she sings, come to me. I still get the butterflies when I see her dancing past, when the boats all leave her shoreline and we're back with her at last. Will I see you in the springtime with the mountain laurel bloom, or maybe on an evening float beneath the silver moon? Will I see you in the summer when she's lonely every day and those rafts grass gets stuck on every rock they meet along the way. Will I see you in the autumn with the colors all ablaze, when the wild grapes down at Dunbar's cast their perfume on the waves? Will I see you in the guideline? Will I see you there, my friend? Will I see you on the Lehigh? You're coming back again. Come to me, come to me, come to me. Oh, she sings, come to me. Will I see you in the guideline? Will I see you there, my friend? Will I see you on the Lehigh? You're coming back again. All throughout the winter, her image fills my dreams. Her deep and verdant valley, her tributary streams. There's an aching and a yearning that melts with winter's end. Will I see you on the Lehigh? You're coming back again. Come to me, come to me, come to me. Oh, she sings, come to me. Will I see you in the guideline? Will I see you there, my friend? Will I see you on the Lehigh? You're coming back again. Thank you very much. Well, it was a beautiful drive up here today. It was pouring down rain when I left Lebanon today, and further west I got, the clearer it got, which was wonderful. Yeah, because actually all the places that I play gigs at, I have I have in my weather app, and so just so I don't have to keep checking on what the weather's going to be like when I go to play. And I must say, Brookville shows up on weather alerts a lot. So whenever that goes off, I think that you folks all the time like, oh, holy moly, what's going on? Uh-oh, buzz, buzz, buzz. That's not working, is it? There we go. Anyway, it probably comes as no surprise to you guys that fall is a little bit more advanced out here, up north, up higher, and whatnot. So it was really kind of a beautiful ride. I try and stay off 80 as long as possible, so I can catch the scenery, and it was really neat. And here's a song that was is from my autumn series. Anyway, this is inspired by a beautiful fall day many years ago, and I'm just going to do it in honor of a beautiful fall day out here in western Pennsylvania, and this is called A Change of Season. Big orange sun peeked over the hill, a crisp chill gripped the air. I woke in a soft feather bed beside my a misty fog moved over the lake, rolling dark and moody. The echoing cries of the Canada geese from the valley called to me. Oh, a change of season comes down on the land. Season comes down on the land. Oh, ain't it pleasing since sun went away. My love was sleeping still and silent, and I drew her near. She woke in my embrace, good morning to the air. And change of season comes down on the land. Oh, ain't it pleasing since I went your hand. The majestic green of the hemlock seemed rising proud and tall. Against the hardwoods, golden crimson treasures one and all. A harvest moon shines on the lake, a lone loon softly cries. Meteors soar through the Milky Way like cosmic fireflies. Oh, a change of season comes down on the land. Oh, ain't it pleasing since I went your hand. Oh, a change of season comes down on the land. Oh, ain't it pleasing since I went your hand. Thanks very much. I'm going to play a song that I wrote for my youngest daughter. Folks who have sons and daughters will know the distinct difference between them. I wrote this during a time when she was going through some troubles. So it's metaphoric. Usually I say exactly what I'm thinking. I'm usually pretty, it doesn't take much guessing, what my songs are about. This one has a little bit more of a metaphor, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. This is called "Come In From the Cold." It's like an invitation to return to your life at home. A snowflake is born high aloft in the clouds. She cannot long linger. She has to come down with her sisters and her brothers. They'll dance on the breeze till they fall through the forest to rest on the leaves. Come in from the forest, come off of the train. Set you down to the table and tell me your tale. Warm your feet by the fire and recount songs of old. Come on in from the forest, come in from the cold. A river must run from her mountain top home, o'er the steppes and the valleys she'll wander and roam. There's a power that drives her and won't let her be, till she loses herself in the arms of the sea. Come in from the forest, come off of the trail. Set you down to the table and tell me your tale. Warm your feet by the fire and recount songs of old. Come on in from the forest, come in from the cold. Come in from the forest, come off of the train. Set you down to the table and tell me your tale. Warm your feet by the fire and recount songs of old. Come
morning from the forest, coming from the cold.
Thanks very much. This song was inspired by just an observation of, you go into McDonald's or you go into a little cafe here or there, and there's always the group of seniors that are there. They're going in with their discount card to get punched, and they're gonna get their cup of coffee and hang out for a couple hours, And my parents are in that category right now, and eventually, in about 15 minutes, I probably will be in that category. but anyway, it was kind of that was kind of the inspiration for this song, seeing that, and another thing that kind of made me think of this too was this theme. A friend of mine who's a great watercolorist from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. His name's Dan Vangelli. Has a great painting called "Pay It Forward," which is when you hear this song, it kind of conjures up those images of someone sitting in a little cafe. And this is called "Daydreaming Here in Paradise." It's from my Easton series.
It's the end of the morning. The sun is high in the sky. Everybody's out on their lunch break. Get away for a while. Little cafe crowded with people. Waitress forces a smile. I just sip on my cup of joe and take it all in a while. And darling, where, oh, where am I? Daydreaming here in paradise. And darling, where, oh, where am I? Daydreaming here in paradise. Picture in a wallet, kids and grandkids too, losing old friends one by one, slowly losing you. When that midday crowd is gone, everybody back on the job, I just stay in this old cafe and sit and watch the clock. There were days when I was among them, struggling to survive. But the years went by, so did I, and soon I was 65. And darling, where, oh, where am I? Daydreaming here in paradise. And darling, where, oh, where am I? Daydreaming here in of the sun is high in the sky.
Thank you. That's the risk you run when you're playing a coffee shop.
Coffee grinder solo.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know when this thing.
There's this one place that I play at down near Lancaster called Naturally Grounded, and I've been playing there a long time, so I can get a little bit belligerent with the folks if I want to. I say, all right, if you're gonna order anything with steam or grinding, do it now. This song is called 20 Years, and it's about how I grew up, and all of a sudden I was 20, and then all of a sudden my first daughter was born, and then all of a sudden she was 20, and and it's like, you know, when you're growing up, you know, it's like, you know, I can remember sitting there in the first grade classroom, looking down at the sixth grade wing, thinking, I'll never get to sixth grade. And then I remember being in sixth grade thinking, oh man, I'll never be able to drive a car. I'll never be 16. And then yeah, exactly. And then you finally, you move on, and then your first kid is born. And you go like, oh wow. And yeah, and then you turn 25, and you go like, ooh. And then your oldest child turns 25, and you go, whoa. And now she's 28, and it's like, whoa. Anyway, this is kind of a reflection on that, and it's called 20 Years.
20 years went by. I grew up as you were born, and 20 years went by, and now you're growing on your own. Let me go back and fix the mess I made. Let me go back and change those things I know I'll never change. 20 years from now, you'll be older, I'll be gone. 20 years from now, it really isn't all that long. Let me go back and fix the mess I made. Let me go back and change those things I know I'll never change. Let me go back and fix the mess I made. Let me go back and change those things I know I'll never change. 20 years from now, you will be old and I'll be gone. 20 years from now, it really isn't all that long. I have today to fix the mess I made. I have today to change those things I know I'll never change.
Thank you. Thanks very much. This song was inspired by. You guys have you must have those cruise night things out there, right? People get their antique cars together and they'll have a night where they'll just kind of cruise around. Well, this is inspired by that, and you usually see, guys with their, tricked out Corvettes and all these beautifully restored cars, maybe an old Mustang or some kind of strange looking GM product that's been totally redone. And the idea that I put behind this is the guy's out in the garage spending years fixing himself up. Meanwhile, his wife is, going to the beauty shop and other things like that, getting herself fixed up. So this is another one of those like little parallels. If you could put together the video in your mind, you can have the part of the video that's the car, and the part of the video that's the couple's relationship. And that's here we go. This is called Cruise Night. It took 4 long years to find parts to put her back in shape. Another 5 to find the time to spend and bend and straight. After 9 long years of labor, she's a joy for all to see. Better than the day she came from Pontiac in 1953. Cruise night, rolling on down the line. Cruise night, we're having a real good time. All that time and money, woo, all that wax and chrome takes me to a better time and place that I call home. Cruise night, me and my baby there. Cruise night, there's magic in the air. All that paint and polish, all that wax and chrome takes me to a better time and place that I call home. Head out to the old garage, take the padlock off the door, throw back that old dust cover, pull the drip pan from the floor, put the key in the ignition, crank it down and hear her roar. Then I learned the day she came from Dearborn back in 1964. Cruise night, rolling on down the line. Cruise night, we're having a real good time. All that time and money, woo, all that wax and chrome takes me to a better time and place that I call home. Cruise night, me and my baby there. Cruise night, there's magic in the air. All that paint and polish, all that wax and chrome takes me to a better time and place that I call home. Thank you very much. I'm going to do one more tune for you folks. I want to tell you what a wonderful, wonderful audience you are and how much fun it was to come up here today and play for you all. I hate to be indelicate about this, but I've come out here for tips, as is the custom with most of my places. So there's a tip jar up here. If you could just get enough gas in the truck to get me home, that would be great. Also, a vast majority of the songs that you heard me play tonight are on my compact disc called Bend in the River. So,
You have swing on there?
What's that?
You have swing on there?
Tree Swing is on there. Yes, it is. Yes,
So-
it is. Okay, very good. So those are $10, and I also have a new little project that I've put together of instrumental pieces. It's a guitar. It starts off with a single guitar and then has a second guitar overdub on it. And that's more of kind of like a good for like relaxation, meditation. There's no lyrics on that or anything, and those are $5. There's I think 6 or 7 tracks on those, all instrumentals, and Don't put it in the car when you're driving. If you're tired, anyway. But anyway, that's called Mount Gretna Breeze, and that's kind of inspired by natural settings and things of that nature. So Bend in the River here is it has, and of course, I went to, I had this whole big project done, and there are 11 songs on it, and of course the back list only has 10 of them listed. So the next run we'll have to get that fixed up. So anyway, I'm going to close tonight with the title track from that. It's called "A Bend in the River," and the song is actually about knowing when it's time to move on, either from a job you're at, or a relationship you're in, or a situation that you're in. So that's kind of what the metaphor for that is. And I'm going to make sure that I'm in tune. I loathe being out of tune here, so we're going to make sure that's taken care of. Sorry about all that. Anyway, also I have there's cards up here that have my schedules on the front of that, and of course I won't be anywhere within 200 miles of here for the rest of the year. But on the back, it gives you a little bit more information about about my stuff and where I've been and all that kind of thing. It also has my web page. And on the web page, I put a lot of music up there. So if you want to hear what I'm up to, I'll usually put something up there if you want to keep tracking me that way. That's totally fine, up to you. Anyway, thanks once again for being such a great audience. A Bend in the River.
We've come to a bend in the river. We've come to a parting of ways. We've come to that place we have to face. It's time that we call it a day. Yes, it's all water under the bridge now. All water over the dam. Come to a bend in the river, and I'm certain you understand. We had lots of great times together. Yeah, we tipped a bottle or two. We made that old run in the rain and the sun, and under the light of the moon. Yes, it's all water under the bridge now. All water over the dam. Oh, we come to a bend in the river, and I'm certain that you understand. Ran all the rapids together, through drought and through hurricanes too. If we remain friends, I guess that depends on the answer that I get from you. Yes, it's all water under the bridge now. All water over the dam. Oh, we've come to a bend in the river, and I'm certain that you understand. Oh, we've come to a bend in the river. We've come to a parting of ways. We've come to that place where we have to face. It's time we went our separate ways. Yes, it's all water under the bridge now. All water over the dam. Oh, we've come to bend in the river, and We've come to that bend in the river, and I'm certain that you understand.